I would now like to call upon our next speaker for the evening, Mr. Abhijit Roy, Managing Director and CEO of Berger Paints India Limited. Ladies and gentlemen, a huge round of applause, please. And Vinay, I hand it over back to you.
Thank you, Mr. Roy, for taking out time. Now, I'm going to pin you more onto West Bengal. Now, you are one of the biggest companies here, and you also have manufacturing capacities, business spread across the country, several states. Do you think West Bengal has a competitive advantages so that, in this entire din of everybody chasing investment, every state, you can attract investment?
So personally speaking, yeah, and we have been here for a long time now. We have a corporate head office here, we have 2 factories here, and we are planning to set up a third one in Panagar. Obviously, if you ask me, we are very happy, and we find that as a state, there are a lot of advantages here. In fact, West Bengal happens to be one of the largest consumer of paint in this country, and we are one of the leading players in this state. There are certain advantages which this state has. First of all, the strategic location. It's the feeder center for the east, the northeast, even Southeast Asia. So that's a major advantage, which is a locational advantage. It has natural wealth, very rich in terms of agriculture, lots of water resources available. I hope the waterways are used much more, so that's something which can be done possibly in this state. I think, there is a lot of skill here available. Very skilled resources at a moderate cost, I would say. So that's one very big advantage which is there. In addition to that, if you look at it, the cultural diversity which exists in this state, I think all religions, all castes, there is very little discrimination here, and there's much more unity there. So that's one other area which is of great importance, I think. And so overall, if you look at it, it has some advantages. Unfortunately, the perception is not that strong.
Yeah. In fact, I was coming to that question next, and Minister is also here for industry. One of the issues that state faces is that of perception. How can that be changed? We have seen some states going out and attracting one big investment, which becomes a kind of a showcase for others to follow. Do you think West Bengal can do something like that to change that narrative?
I think that should be looked at, because that anchor investment and some marquee names, if they invest, it always pulls in other people. People have to decide from this state, I'm sure they must be thinking on this, that which are the areas in which they should focus on and choose a certain group of industries. I think the strength of West Bengal should be exploited. There is a lot of skilled resources, as I mentioned. And today, AI, ML, IT is increasingly becoming, popular and important as well. Why can't we have lots of startups here, promote innovation, get youngsters to participate? I think, as a city also, it's a very nice city to live in. I have traveled across many cities, and I think today, this is one city which is really nice, and the youngsters feel attracted, therefore, to such places, but I think economically we will have to get them into this state, into this city in order to participate.
Yeah, that's a very valid thought. But a follow-up to that is that related perception issue also is to labor. So what can the state do to have the skill setup available here for industry? Because today the big question is matching skills to industry. So how can Bengal make that available without the issue of the perception?
So I think, this is one area where I have worked extensively. I was the CII, Eastern Zone skill head, then in Bengal Chamber I am there. I am also there in Indian Paint Association in the chairman of the skill committee. I think a lot of work is happening in West Bengal. In fact, we get a lot of support from the state government. We have a center here in Rajarhat, which was provided to us, and we work from there. We train a lot of painters. I know that Raymond is having an operation there. Samsung is having an operation there where they teach electronic repairs, clothing, etc. So that work is happening. What is not possibly there is the industry 4 type of, but that option is not there because not too many companies or infrastructure, industries are there of that type in West Bengal who need that skill here in West Bengal. So, that is something which is missing. So if that happens, then possibly that resource and that skilling will also start happening.
Right. So last question, and I hope Mr. Puri will also talk about it later, is the current demand situation in the country. We are getting a mixed evidence, and the industry would want to know from your side. You are there in the hardcore paints business, which is a very demand-driven thing, both urban and rural. So what is your take? Is inflation really impacting demand, or are you seeing things improve?
Yeah, so obviously inflation does impact demand, and it's been, quite a strong inflation rate, which has affected demand across the world. Why in India it shouldn't happen. There is no reason for that not to affect Indian demand as well. But what we have seen is we are used to this type of inflation level. We have been used to 6-7% type of inflation compared to the rest of the world where they expected 0 to 1% or 2% inflation most of the time. And that has remained stable. So thankfully, whatever we have done in the COVID period, we didn't go overboard in terms of distributing money, etc. And as a result of that, the inflation has remained, within the limits. And that is the reason why India is relatively doing much better compared to other countries. So it did impact demand to some extent, but the rural demand, at least in the month of February, we saw it coming back quite a lot. Earlier it was that the states of UP, Bihar, Jharkhand was suffering a little bit, but February was a bit of a bounce back there. If this trend continues, then I am sure that the rural demand also will pick up. The urban demand has been more or less stable right through this period.
Thank you, Mr. Roy. And on behalf of ET, I would like to thank everybody here, Minister and distinguished guest, and congratulate all the winners. Thank you very much.